Alright, guys, I got to check out Eli Roth's Thanksgiving last night. My God. Now, look, if you know me, you know I am an avid Scream lover. My account name is Woodsboro Fanatic for a reason. My profile picture is Ghostface for a reason. I love Scream. I absolutely loved Scream 6. But I'm not kidding when I tell you guys, this movie is giving Scream 6 a run for its money as the best slasher movie of the year. Not only a great slasher film, but this is easily one of the best horror movies of 2023. Easily. I won't dive into the plot too much, but what I will say is this is a mystery slasher revolving around a killer who returns a year after a certain tragedy to basically get his payback on everyone who was involved in this tragedy. Like I said, this is a mystery slasher, so it's essentially a whodunit. Big Scream vibes here, with spending the runtime of the film trying to figure out who's behind these murders, who's behind the mask, but I think it was really executed very well. First of all, that opening scene was fucking wicked. This was an excellent tone setter for the movie, and they throw you right into the midst of it. The opening scene basically shows you how fucking brutal this movie is going to be, how gory it's going to be, and just how out there it's going to be. I love how inspired this movie feels. It definitely feels like there's a lot of inspiration drawn from previous slashers, particularly the ones that we love. Like I said, there's a lot of Scream vibes going on here, but also there's certain shots that they give you that kind of remind me of the OG Black Christmas, which is one of my favorite slasher movies of all time. So yeah, like I said, I just love that they were paying respects throughout the whole movie to movies that came before its time. Overall, I thought this was pretty well casted. There's a few people in here that fell flat, but their roles aren't extremely pivotal to the story, is what I'll say. So their performances don't necessarily take away from the film. Patrick Dempsey, though, amazing casting. I need him in more horror movies. Like, Patrick Dempsey is the man, and he absolutely killed it in this movie. I love the direction and cinematography of this movie. It's shot beautifully. I mean, literally from the excuse me, the minute you open up on this film, there's a beautiful opening shot, and then there's just beautiful shots throughout the whole way. Beautiful shots that involve our killer. Some of the death scenes were beautifully shot. The special effects team, most of these kills, actually I think all of these kills, aside from a few parts maybe, were all practical, which I loved, and I thought the special effects team did an excellent job in that department. From a filmmaking standpoint, this was just a really well put together film. I also thought the sound design was really well executed. It's there when it needs to be. It's super loud at moments to keep you alert, but there's also moments where they build this dread and tension with absolute silence, and I think they did a magnificent job with that. Love the character design for our killer, John Carver. Love the brutality from him. Obviously, you know you're going to get some brutality from an Eli Roth film, but I was not expecting to get this approach from this killer. We see what we see in the trailers, but what I will say is that the trailers do not give everything away, because the amount of brutality that is shown from him is honestly surprising, but in a very good way. Like I said, these kills are fucking wicked, and each one is worse than the one prior to that, but man, was it fucking good. The movie did fall a bit flat at the end for me, but everything leading up to that end was so damn good that I was willing to overlook that. Plus, it's a slasher movie, and nowadays I feel like us horror fans we tend to over-exceed our expectations with what we expect from a slasher movie. Because if we go back to the classic slashers that we love from the 80s and 70s, it's cheesy, camp, fun, and that's what this essentially is, ramped up times 10. Honestly, it's just very pleasing to see an Eli Roth film back on the big screen. I mean, I love his work. He's a very talented director, and for him to give us this piece of beauty that I'd like to call this movie, I mean, this is cinema. Like, it truly is. But for him to give us this, I love him even more, and I am absolutely craving more of his work. Like I need more Eli Roth movies ASAP. Overall, though, this was a hell of a time, guys. This was a really well executed slasher film, one that doesn't try to do too much, but also doesn't do too little. Gives you that perfect balance. Absolutely perfect movie for a movie night with some friends to just sit back and enjoy the ride. If you want a good slasher, this is it. This is definitely going to be in the rotation for years to come. I mean, the rewatch factor is there for sure. And let's be appreciative that we got another holiday slasher. I mean, we got My Bloody Valentine, we got Halloween, we got Black Christmas, and now we got Thanksgiving. Honestly, as horror fans, we are blessed, and this movie shows exactly why. My final rating, I'm going to go ahead and give this a 9.2 out of 10. This came really close to being a 10, but the ending fell just a tad bit flat to me. Like I said, it wasn't enough to diminish the film as a whole, but it was enough to lower the score just a little bit. But 9.2, still solid. I absolutely love this movie, guys.